starting with a double bock and
Just
going
a
up
wee
from there.
double bock and working our way up. Sounds good.
Yeah. So I was just talking to Kirby a couple weeks ago at the fundraiser that they run for the Breast Cancer Recovery Center.
Right.
And talking to him about this, and I was making the brewer joke about it, saying, is this a joke about the manometers, which is a way for checking the partial pressures as you're draining out I would do it that way, as you're draining your mash tun. Sorry, too geeky at once. And he's like, oh, he said, I never even thought about that. He said, no, the Manoo is a Ojibwe word for wild rice.
Oh,
and that's what he's riffing on with the name on this one. Didn't have anything to do with it. Does check in at 8% alcohol according to the label.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yep. So
lovely gold color. Mm-hmm. Brilliantly clear. Nice carbonation. Nice head.
And just like always from Kirby, there's a huge hop nose. Not. Pick up a little bit of you can pick up a little bit of the wild rice from the nose. There's a a different kind of graininess, and it really is like the the husk from the wild rice. I really love the nose on this. It's very clean.
Very soft.
You're not getting any of the bubblegummy kind of stuff that some of the double bocks get too, especially American ones.
Yeah, you definitely pick up the wild rice flavor.
Yeah, it's sort of as part of the finish on this is you get a little bit of that. You get a little bit of it. It's a clean huskiness, so it's not like an over-sparged. When you take your mash down too far and you pick up some of that. But that's really how Kirby's kind of balancing this out, because it's very malty up front. Mm-hmm. Not particularly sweet, but very malty. A lot of depth to the malt on the front of the tongue. The alcohol's a little bit drying through the middle, and then the wild rice really shows up at the back along with the alcohol to help dry this off.
Right.
Hopping is at minimal levels.
Yeah.
Enough for sanitation and a little bit of balance, but mostly this is about balancing the grains. The fermentation is quite neutral, as a good lager should be.
Yeah, it's very neutral especially for capital. It doesn't have that classic capital yeast flavor. It's pretty clean. So.
And sneaky. The alcohol is not evident in this at all, which is the mark of a great double bock.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's good.
You shouldn't notice the alcohol in a double bock until you attempt to stand up.
Yeah, it's masked very well. I mean, maybe the alcohol dries out the palate a little bit, but you're not getting any warmth or heat or anything like that. It's really subtle, really well done. Which, of course, is dangerous when you're talking about 8.5%. But
just 8. Only.
Oh, just 8.
Just 8.
A mere 8.
And it's a lot of there's been a lot of new bocks from Kirby in the last year or so. He's really been pushing the envelope on all of the different bocks that he can come up with. And we were just talking about it before we started to film that by the time this airs, it will have just happened. But Capital's Bock Fest is this weekend.
Yeah, and they usually have the blonde Doppelbock, the platinum blonde, and that's usually when they break that out.
And the Maibach.
And the Maibach, yeah.
Affectionately known as mind block in many circles.
My mind has been blocked a couple times on that beer.
Yes. And I mean, this is a great addition right now, especially since we've been having this sort of mild winter and get a chance here and there to get outside. That's really where the double bocks are for in the springtime anyways, is the couple of purposes. One, they were brewed for monks to help them with their fast during Lent, which just started yesterday. And the other part is to welcome patrons back into the beer gardens when it's still a little chilly. So you have this, which makes you feel warmer, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Well, it helps a little bit.
Temporarily, and then you get much, much colder.
Yeah. Feel warm.
Yes.
Without
inside.
Actually being warm.
Well, actually, getting a chance to taste it this way, I actually like it much more than the first time I had it. It's actually grown on me a little bit. So, what do you think?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of their wild rice beers and their wild rice bocks, and I think this is a great addition.
Yeah. It's the wild rice beer. I wasn't that huge of a fan of it. This one, I think, does a better job of, using the wild rice as as an addition, as opposed to I found the wild rice beer to be too much wild rice, and too husky and grainy. And this is much more subtle, and it balances much better. Cheers.
All right. Well, cheers.